Hello, hello, welcome back to the Craft Scraps. I am Lauren, and today is an impromptu video because I opened up Design Space after, I don't know, it's been probably a few weeks since I've opened it, and it updated, and I thought everything looked normal until I looked over here and I was like, this toolbar looks completely different than when I literally just used it a couple weeks ago. So I wanted to show a couple of things that I thought were interesting. So I'll show a little screenshot or something of what the toolbar used to look like. So the one thing that I noticed that was the most interesting is this little guy down here, combine. So normally, or previously, that was the weld button right next to the slice button. Now they're calling it combine. So I'll show you what happens. So first of all, you're going to need two like objects or an ungrouped word or something along those lines. So I'm going to select both of these, and you can see all my buttons light up once I do that. So coming over here to combine, we have a bunch of different options. So I duplicated the same kind of like image or two objects so we could see what they all looked like. So first, the classic weld. So this is what we used to be able to do, was just weld. So it looks like it just literally welds them together, as opposed to attach, which just basically, like you can see, like a paper clip would do, attaches the items to each other. It doesn't actually like weld them together like it does here. So next, let's go over here. I don't know why I'm going right to left. That seems odd, but we're here, so we're going to keep doing it. Come back to combine, and now I'm going to click unite. So that looks very similar. Okay, so I can see what the difference is between weld and unite. So I'm going to get rid of this one just because that was just for like an example. So weld, here you can see there's no little drop down arrow. This is basically what we're left with. Whereas unite, you can see we have this little drop down, and it gives you the option to select both little shapes. Interesting. Why would you want to, okay, so you can resize it and it still remains united. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so that's unite. So now let's come over here and we'll do this one down here. Combine and subtract. So again, that basically takes out the chunk of the square that was covering the circle. But again, I can still like have control of the square here. So I guess if I wanted to make it a bigger chunk. Interesting. Okay. Same thing with the circle. You can still manipulate the circle. Whereas with weld, it literally welds them together. We can only do one thing with, we can only manipulate this as one single element. Okay. So we'll come over here and we'll do, what's next? Intersect. All right. So I don't really know why you would want to do this. Like, I can't think of a situation where this would like make sense to intersect. I gotta do that. What does it do exactly? So I'm highlighting both of them. So it leaves you with like the intersection, like the part where it intersects. Okay. Again, don't know why you would like need that, but interesting. And then lastly, my last little guy down here, we're going to exclude. So that basically is the inverse of this. It excludes the part where they intersect. Interesting. Very interesting. Do they give you the option to unweld? That is the question, because that has been the most obnoxious, where you get so far into a project, you leave, come back, and you're stuck with this welded image. Maybe that's the difference between unite. You can can you ununite it? Undo, unite! Oh my God! Wait. Doesn't let you do that for weld. Okay, interesting. So I feel like unite is actually a good option. So now what's going to happen when I go to cut this? Like, what do my mats look like? Interesting. Which one is this? I gotta make them like different colors. So let's make these different colors. I'm just gonna select and I'll make this one purple. So this was our unite one. This is our weld. I would leave that pink. This is our subtract one. I'll do that yellow. This was our exclude. I'll do that red. And then this was our intersect. I'll do that orange. So I want to do this because I want to see how it's going to like cut. What's the difference? We'll do on mat. So this was our weld. So it's going to cut out like a normal weld image. This was our exclude, I think. So it looks like, I'm just curious how that's going to cut out, because to me it looks like it's going to cut like this and then cut like this. All right. That was the intersect, I think. That was the, I should have like labeled these better. And then this is the unite. Okay, this is interesting because the unite is going to cut out exactly like the weld. So I feel like the unite is a better version of weld because it allows you to basically like undo. What happens if I save it, leave, and come back? Save. Combine, test. And then what happens if I leave? I'm gonna go home, go back to that. Oh my God. There's so many different things on Design Space now. I don't even recognize it. I'm gonna go to my projects. Go back into it. Customize. Okay, so I'm gonna say Unite is like a really good option, and it lets you merge the layers. What does that do? That basically gives you like the weld result. It's basically like the same thing. You can see here. Whereas, oh no, can I unmerge? Okay, so Unite seems like it's going to be a good option as opposed to weld, because once you're welded, you cannot unweld, especially if you leave and come back. The only way you can unweld is if you undo it right away, but that only works if you do it right away. Like if you realize you need to unweld something like an hour later and you've done all this work, you're gonna have to like undo everything. So it seems like Unite is a good way to go. We love it. So literally that's it. I just wanted to kind of jump on here and go through this with you guys because this is my first time seeing it. So I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, happy crafting!